Just finished West Ham United 2, Sheffield United 0, and let's get this in from the very start. That was quite an easy game for us, truth be told. I'll be surprised if we have an easier fixture than that this season. They weren't particularly good. I think they had one or two chances, of course they did, but the reality is we could have had 3 before half time, and I don't think they could have had too many complaints about it. They made it easy for us today. I think we were good, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to take anything away from West Ham. I'm going to go on and praise West Ham for the rest of the video. I'm just putting in that disclaimer because inevitably someone will say, well, we won but they were crap. But we can't keep saying that. We can't keep saying we won but only because of this. At the end of the day, we've got the 3 points again, which, you know, I came into this one feeling confident, but there was a little bit of underlying nerves, if truth be told, and speaking to people on the boats before the game. There's a few of them with a little bit of nerves as well, which is typical. West Ham would lose this, and actually them getting beat 8-0 last weekend was possibly a bad thing for West Ham going into this. Well, we got our first corner after about 40 seconds, and you think, well, hey, here we go, come on then. Soucek with a really early chance, should have done better, but I think that's a difficult chance. I think it's harder than it looks. It was good work down the right hand side, got played back in, caught sort of across Soucek's body a little bit. He had to do quite a lot of adjusting, but he should be hitting the target from there. Jared Bowen with the header, well saved. Then Agard had the follow-up, I think it was cleared off the line by another header. And it felt like the first goal was coming. It wasn't really a matter of will West Ham score the first goal. It felt a little bit like who's going to score the first goal for West Ham and how long do we have to wait for it. And that might be quite arrogant, but that's how I felt during the game, and I was proving correct when we made it 1-0 through Jared Bowen. And I have to say, that is one sexy bastard goal, isn't it? Really good play down that side. Soucek with a fantastic through ball to Vladimir Soufal, and you know, someone who I'm quite critical of when it comes to sort of the lack of end product. And I think there was an occasion or two in the second half where that lack of end ball was there from Soufal, but this one is right on the money. It's absolutely superb, and Bowen's got a lot to do. It's, again, Bowen makes this look easy. A superb finish. He's a player in fine form, really confident at the minute. He's playing absolutely fantastic. Really good goal from Jared Bowen. But the play from West Ham, the all-round play, I thought was brilliant. And this is why, as bad as Sheffield United were, you can't take anything away from West Ham there. That was a really, really good team goal. Lots of fantastic bits of individual skill and ability and vision within that one. And I have to say, I will say, Antonio, that should have been a pen on Antonio should that not have happened. The defender was all over him. It wasn't the first time and it wasn't going to be the last time. And I found myself in the first half feeling a little bit sorry for Antonio, actually, because I criticised him last week when we got beat by Liverpool. I thought he was going down a little bit too easy. I thought he went down easier than a certain sycamore tree might have done earlier on in the week. But today, I don't think he was doing that. I think he was trying to have that physical battle, but he wasn't afforded it by the referee. You know, the Sheffield United defenders seemed to get like 3 warnings. Stop doing that, stop doing that, stop. And they kept on doing it. Why wouldn't they? The referee wasn't giving anything. So I think in the first half, I think it was a tricky game for Antonio because I think he was being restricted quite a lot by the Sheffield United defenders, and which was being allowed by referees. But I think we just continued to be the better side. We continued to dominate them, create chances. We weren't necessarily creating clear-cut opportunities or that, and they had some half chances themselves. I'm not making on. Sheffield United had absolutely nothing. They had some half chances, a couple of really good blocks, one by Agard in particular, I recall well in the first half. Forgive me, for those that are new to this channel, where we sit is down the end that West Ham were attacking in the first half. So any Sheffield United attacks in the first half, it was down the other end, didn't get to see loads. Any rare West Ham attack in the second half, I didn't get to see particularly well because that was down the other end as well. So I sort of got the best of the action throughout the 90 minutes really, because we were the better team in the first half and most of the action was in the Sheffield United goal. Then in the second half, I felt Sheffield United probably had the ball a little bit more in our third and our attacks were getting rarer and fewer. But we went in 2-0 at half-time. Thomas Soucek's goal, I haven't spoken about that, have we? What a goal that was. I didn't think he could move his feet like that. When can Soucek do that? You know, a really good interception by Emerson. I thought we were good at them today. 2 or 3 occasions we nipped in fast, got the ball and set up counter-attacks. And this is where you can set up counter-attacks. You don't have to be in your 18-yarder in order to spring a counter-attack. We sort of done one a little bit there where Emerson got it, got played into Antonio, lovely little ball into Soucek. A lot for Soucek to do. It's not an easy chance for him, actually. I think the momentum's in the defender's favour probably, where they're more likely to block this from Soucek than he is to score. But fantastic feat from him, a really good finish as well. Didn't know he had it in his locker. He surprised me on international duty, playing like Ronaldinho, and today he turned into Ronaldo R9 with that finish. Absolutely superb from him, to be honest with you. In half-time, 2-0. And that was easy. That was easy for West Ham. Sheffield United were crap, but we were efficient, we were working hard. I thought every player was justified in his start today. I had no complaints at half-time. I had a slight concern, which is, would we kick on in the second half? Would we go get goal 3 and 4? I wasn't too sure we would, but at the same time I felt that Sheffield United would probably shut up shop a little bit, and that sounds a bit strange, 2-0 down, but after getting beat 8-0 last week and they fell apart in the second half against Newcastle, that's the last thing that could happen to them today. The last thing Sheffield United needed today was to lose 4 or 5-0, so they were going to get a little bit tighter in the second half despite being 2-0 down. And I thought they had a little bit more value for money in the second half, but I felt that was afforded by West Ham. I felt we sat back a little bit, tried to keep the ball and try and play that counter-attacking football. We weren't as good in the second half, I didn't feel. We still had some chances, some really big chances, but that was more down to Sheffield United just being possibly the worst team in the league. You know, we played Luton. I thought they gave us a better game than what Sheffield did today. So if you're a Sheffield United fan tuning into this, apologies, but it's my honest opinion. I didn't think you had much there. You had some half chances, but I thought we defended relatively well. But put it this way, that's our first clean sheet in the league this season, an important one. I think we needed that. And I thought Kurt Zouma was poor today, actually. Say poor, I think he was average. He was nowhere near his best, made a few errors, didn't look quite at the races today. But he didn't have to be. He didn't need to be. Sheffield United didn't really push him enough today. But well done, David Moyes. He got it spot on. 2 big calls to make with his team selection with Agerd or Mavropanos. Got it right. I thought Agerd was fantastic today. And then Soucek or Kudus. Well, look who scored the goals. I think that justifies that selection there. But do you know something? Normally we do man of match at the end, don't we? I'll do it now. I thought Thomas Soucek was man of match today. I thought he was fantastic. Listen, was he perfect? No, he missed a couple of big chances, like the one early at the very start of the game. But I think that's a difficult one. I have to see it back and all that disclaimer, but it felt like a difficult chance where it was played to his feet rather than sort of laid off gently so he could swing his leg at it. It felt very direct in between the legs, so a difficult one to connect with. Then I think he had a header, didn't he, which he probably should have done a little bit better at. But I thought he was brilliant in midfield, and when Alvarez went off, which I think was the right thing to do, I think, you know, Moyes got his subs right today. I would have liked to have seen Kudus on a little bit earlier. I thought the game was flat in the second half. When we're 2-0 up, that's going to happen though. It's going to get a little bit boring. And that's probably what Moyes wanted. Moyes probably wanted us to be safety first in the second half. Whenever Sheffield got a little bit of momentum, a little bit of sting, take it out of the game. And I thought we did it. I thought we started to play the ball around at the back and we just slowed the game down a little bit. When you're there, it's not the most exciting thing. It's not the most entertaining thing. You know, at one point in the second half, I was finding myself a little, not necessarily bored, almost nodding off, but that's because I've only had 4 hours sleep, so that's probably played into the equation of Gio's tiredness of the day. But I found myself a bit, because we didn't need to do much. So I would have liked to have seen Kudus earlier, but I understand why Moyes left it, and Alvarez coming off was the right thing to do. On a yellow card, did another iffy tackle, looked a little bit iffy, while the referee, it felt like he was hesitating, like there was no authority from the referee over that. He just sort of walked over, allowed the Sheffield United players to get in at him. But at that point, the referee's now aware Alvarez has done another foul on a yellow card. We're 2-0 up. I think Moyes has done the right thing. No risks, get him off, it's fine. Because the way Alvarez plays, and I think he had a good game by the way, but the way Alvarez plays, when he doesn't win the ball, he's going to commit a foul, but also when he commits a foul, it's usually verging on a booking. Whenever Alvarez does a foul, it's usually sort of like, oh, possible yellow card coming here. It felt like the first yellow card felt a bit harsh. I thought he won the ball, but I'm God knows how many tens of feet away, so I'm not going to be accurate, am I? But it looked like during the game that he'd won that one fair and square. But yeah, would have liked seeing Kudus a bit more. I thought he was a bit of a handful when he came on, but the game was done. By the time he came on, half the players had given up a little bit. Not necessarily stopped playing in West Ham sense, but a little bit of fatigue kicking in maybe. We didn't have to be 100%, we didn't have to be running anymore. It was easy enough. It was a straightforward win for us, but it's an important win. I'm not going to say this morning I think it's an important game if we get the win, and then because we've won it was quite easy to say actually it wasn't that important. It was an important win because, like I said when I was speaking to people on the boats before the game, there's that. We would have lost this last season. I know typical West Ham a few years ago, pre-David Moyes, we'd have probably lost that. But last season, that's a game we would have struggled with. And we would have come away thinking, oh no, we're in a relegation battle, just giving vital points to a relegation rival, etc, etc. We've made that look easy today, and that's a sign of a good team. We are a good side. We've got 2 tough games coming up now though. Newcastle, Villa, really hard games. We could have done without Villa getting that confidence boost earlier on today against Brighton. But it is what it is, and I think it's a good test actually. We can get points plural out of those 2 games. Yeah, I'm feeling it. Anyway, good performers. Like I said, Agard had a good game. Emerson, Ward-Prowse was really good in midfield. I thought Soucek, my man of match, and obviously Bowen continues his fantastic vein of form. But anyway, I shall catch up with you tomorrow morning. But if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like on it by clicking the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow morning with probably a second review, I'm calm now, a more of a general review of the game. I'll catch you then.